What glory.
Good evening and welcome to the Cricket Show. We got a massive show on tonight for us. Joining me once again, David Bogue. Welcome, David.
Thank you, Reece. Show number 3.
Show number 3, yeah. Great weekend of cricket. We've got a lot to cover tonight. We had probably the game of the Big Bash season so far, even though it's quite young, but we had a great game Friday night. We got that to cover as well as a big day of Saturday fixtures. So welcome. Joining us also on the panel tonight, we've got Brothers Division 1 captain, Mitchell Parsons. Welcome, Mitch.
How you going, boys?
Thank
Good
you.
to see you.
Good.
Well done on episode 3. I think just about 2 Thursdays in a row, I've sat down on the couch and watched the first 2 episodes, so you're doing well. So
We've got a lot of followers, Mitch.
yeah, plenty more to go.
Yes. So we'll kick tonight off our weekly highlight, something we started last week, gone down quite well, but what caught your fancy over the weekend, Dave?
I'm going to go to the Thirsty Thirds, Reece. Impressive figures from Paul Wingfield. He took 5 wickets, and not only were 5 wickets impressive, mate, he also got out Brett Woodward, who we talked about last week. No one could actually work out how to get him out, and he got Lex Webster out. I think Lex mightn't have even troubled the scorer, so big shout out to Paulie Wingfield from ISIS. Still haven't got their win, but if he can continue bowling like that, I think they're not too far away.
Yep, good one. What about yourself, Mitch?
I'm going to be a bit biased this week. So Brothers Cricket Club young gun Lockie Haycox, he had a pretty good weekend with the bat. So he smacked a ton in his under-16 games for YMCA, and then came out in our Div 1 game when we were probably 6 or 7 for 80 odd, chasing 150 and hit 48 off 40 balls and got us over the line there in the end. So
And he didn't get out in either bats, mate.
No, not out for the whole weekend. So hopefully he keeps it going this weekend.
His
So
average will be looking pretty good. Bit of red ink
very
there for
high.
young Lockie Haycox. Learn off his dad, one of the best for red inking. So
for many years too.
yeah, he's a good cricketer, as we've mentioned him a couple of times. So well done to Lockie Haycox on your performance on the weekend. Probably a little bit disappointed with Sunday, but I think he was not out again for the Lord Tabs who went down. So 3 bats and 3 not out. So no one knows how to get him out.
Can't complain.
Yeah. You want me on to the Thirsty Thirds as well?
Oh, are you?
Yes.
What happened there?
The day-night game. We spoke last week about the day-night game. Well, the East Magpies boys went bananas.
Did they?
There was 4s and 6s flying everywhere, and it was a great spectacle. Just to get those guys playing on a day-night, credit to them and also the Wades guys. It was a good game of cricket. There was plenty of runs scored in the 70 overs. I think there was over 400, nearly 450 runs. So a couple. We'll touch on that game later on. But just to those guys to come out and perform like that. There's a few blokes there that probably shouldn't be playing Division 3.
Not after this week.
No.
Yeah, I did hear the seats were getting a bit of a peppering from the cricket ball. So well done to the Magpies boys in Div 3, and 220 odd runs off 35 overs. That's a great effort and a big chase to chase, and they couldn't get it, could they, Waves boys? So well done to the Magpies boys.
Yeah.
Well done. That's good. I like that.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 Division 3 boys.
Yeah,
Gee,
yeah.
First graders better step up. Yes. Well, Friday night, what a game. Searles RV Vikings 5 for 149, or 5 for 148, sorry, and Taipans fell 1 run short. It was could have went either way right down.
Did we have a bet?
I think
It was
we did.
double or
It was
nothing.
Double or
wasn't it?
nothing.
Gee,
So.
I owe you 4 cans of spaghetti now. The Vikings. As you said, they did pretty well, didn't they? And from a Taipans perspective, which I'm tied up with, the boys probably had it in the bag. You'd have been a little bit nervous, mate. I think they only needed something like 15, 18 runs off the last 3 overs and a couple of wickets, and I think we needed 3 off the last ball.
Yeah, 4 to win.
4 to win, was it?
3 for a super over.
Yeah, we haven't seen the super over yet,
yet.
so very,
So-
very close, and they got 1 run short.
Yeah,
So.
no, well, the Taipans did win the toss and elected to bowl.
Yep.
I think after the first 2 games with the Jew coming in and that, I think Dale Steele might have thought that they were capable of chasing down a score.
Yep.
And I think if we can just throw to the footage, like the Vikings come out and got off to a pretty fast start. Lenny Childs scored 50 off 31 balls and hit 5 sixes, and well, that one was just there to be hit. But
They hit the roof, actually. I was over there thinking I might have to catch it to protect some children, but it flew over and hit the roof on the full. So,
yeah,
Primichi
There we go
Waters,
again.
That's a big six.
Kodak moment. And I think Lennon played it pretty smart, to be honest. The wind was howling across that direction, and Lennon was hitting with the wind. So,
yeah. And then Scotty Irwin got in on the action there. He chipped in with 29 off 18 and just got the Taipans really going to. And after the first 10 overs, they were 81. So from there, probably to get 150, I don't think they would have been. That was a good shot into the wind.
that's in the win, yeah. So, yeah, well done to Lennon. 50 runs in quick time off 31 balls, and to hit 5 sixes. As you can see, there's more sixes here. That's a big hit. So.
That's his game, though, isn't it? Once he gets going.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You're hitting with the wind, and I think a couple of them are even miss hits. He didn't.
I don't think that one's a miss hit, but
That hasn't landed yet.
so no, they got off to a flying start, and from 3 for 81 off 10, they fell to 5 for 99, and it took a little bit of a partnership between Kyle Stone and Ollie Bogue of 49 to get them to 148, and they only hit 2 boundaries in that 49. There was a lot of running, and young Kyle was a bit puffed there towards the end, and the last ball of the innings they actually run for 2. Oh, we've got it here.
Yep. And there's Ollie hitting it. Yep. Okay. There's
Last
only
ball
one.
of the innings, and
Run hard.
Ollie will be happy with his performance.
the
here.
He's
return.
on the treadmill.
Oh, he should have been run out, and Kyle It took him about 3 or 4 minutes to get up here, I think.
It's a very,
He was a bit knackered, yeah.
He's a bit puffed. Well, in saying that, for 2 boundaries, I don't think Kyle would have hit a boundary.
No, I don't think he did.
Ollie hit a couple of boundaries, and so Kyle's, if he wants to learn how to run between wickets and get a bit of fitness, or Kyle usually hits the boundary. So, but well done to Kyle. He stayed solid there, and as you said, there was only a 1-run victory to you guys. And looking at that footage there, if that was run out, then that second run wouldn't account. So there's one run there. And you can look back on many things, I guess, like Paul Jagger dropped the catch. There's probably a few other times. There was another incident, I think, where Chris Duff was batting. Him and Krebsy were going to run 3, and there was a bit of a stutter. So I could name you 6 times where,
4 overthrows.
Nettie Jenner threw the 4 overthrows to turn that into 5. So I think it all evens out. I could be biased and say, Taipans, we had a few things go against us, or we weren't playing really smart cricket. So, but in saying that, the battle of the Dales and the battle of the Caravans. And to have a close game like that, that's what you want, don't you, Mitch? A close game on a Friday night.
I was out to dinner with the family for the first half and just keeping updated on my cricket, and you could see the momentum shifts between the game. There was probably 4 or 5 different momentum shifts where each team could have taken it, and I rocked up with about 10 overs to go and watched the last 10, which was pretty entertaining, and to see how close it ended up being, and it goes to show just about any team in the Big Bash can win when it's their night. So it's good for the comp that it's getting close.
Absolutely, and I think some people are talking about the Vikings. They're a bit worried about the depth of the batting. Well, that's proved wrong, and I think I was excited from a Taipans perspective with the amount of bowlers we had, a lot of classy bowlers, and to go for 150. So our bowlers didn't stand up, but your batsmen did. So.
Yeah, well, just to cap off, we've got a bit more here. Vikings, got off to a good start, got a wicket on the second ball. I think we got it here. Oh, a little bit.
Here he is. Who's done the audio clips here? There's Reece Grills coming in. And is that Michael Loader? He's Yep, you've given him a...
How's your father too on the way?
See you later, mate. Is he smiling?
Cheeky smirk there.
And as I said last week, I was happy to buy Mickey Loader for $500, but maybe we might have paid overs with that big slash out outside the off stump there, but that's probably a bit of your strategy going in, trying to keep it up there. And
keep up full, and Michael obviously hasn't played a lot of cricket this year, so just got one to go away.
Probably a bit nervous, hey? He probably wanted to get off the mark and show the crowd that he had that big cover drive that he's used many years. And well bowled, I guess, but it's amazing he put that footage up.
I'm sure the more games come around, I'm sure Michael will start hitting them pretty well.
So Chris Duff was probably the best for the Taipans. He scored 46 off 32 and hit a
Bogue would have been sitting there in the bleachers seeing that happen in front of his eyes.
That
was great. That's nearly landed at the ticket box.
That's a different postcode, that. So, I like seeing Ollie get hit for a six every now and then. It might quieten him down. But I think on the commentary it talked about the young guns showing a bit of responsibility, like Ollie bowled at the end of the innings into the wind. And as we talked about Jaden Santa Catarina last week, good for these young fellas to be given a bit of responsibility and bowling and death overs. So well done to both teams for giving their young guns a bit of a go. And, you know, they're not making up numbers. They're there to compete and do the job.
Yeah, for sure. And then, as we said, it come down to the last ball, and when the Taipans needed 4 to win. And I think if we have a look here, it was a bit of a left field for Kyle Stellan to be bowling the last over.
And bowling leggies. There's Duffy hitting that, so...
Yeah, they needed, obviously...
Oh, and a fumble.
They got the 2
and we were yelling out, just keep running, just keep running, you never know.
And
then it was a poor throw, there was a fumble.
And that's where Duffy he stopped in the pitch going, I don't know whether... maybe if we had our way again, we should just run. So, isn't it good to see Kyle Stellan bowl on his leggies? When he used to play for Country West, he bowled medium pace and opened the bowling. Now he's turned into a leg spinner.
Little known fact, he was actually South Queensland underage opening bowler.
Yeah, okay.
Wow, okay.
They represented South Queensland as an opening bowler.
I know the commentary, and they were talking about who they were going to bowl, and they said maybe Kyle, and they brought him on and he did the job. So shout out to Kyle Stellan for bowling some good leggies.
Yes. All right, well, that sums up the Big Bash game. As we said, there's 3 teams now with 1 win, so everyone's played 2 games. So I think with a washout, that 1 point may come in handy, or it may be detrimental to sides at the back end.
And there's no Big Bash.
No Big Bash this week with the the Schaefer Shield side going away, so weekend off.
Oh.
But, well done to Dale Hodge and the Vikings boys on the win. So coming up after the break, we got a full wrap of the Rum City Foods competitions within our region.
Your local better are your appliance specialists. With everything from fridges and laundry to TV, small appliances and much more. Plus, with a range of payment options available, you can buy now and pay later. Go local, that's better.
Come along to the Aussie Bundy Big Bash 2020 Cricket Series at Salter Oval. It's a free night of entertainment as 4 hard-charging teams battle it out. Every match live on widebayitv.com. See you at the Aussie Bundy Big Bash.
Hello and welcome back to the Cricket Show. Now we've got to cover the competitions from the weekend around the region. The First Division games on Saturday. We had Waves take on Norths. It was pretty good performance on a pretty good wicket by probably the Waves bowling attack to knock Norths over for 147. They were probably a little bit disappointed after they had them at 9 for 93 and a 50 plus run partnership for the last wicket between Paulie Jenner and Bruce Worthington. Boys got a little bit frustrated, but no, it was a good chase in the end to get them 5 down. Yeah,
well, field 2's, in my opinion, the best batting wicket to be batting on. So across the Waves, as you said, to have them 9 for 90 odd, that's a great effort. And they did it pretty easy. Waves went out and got the runs with 19 overs to spare. So as you said, Paul Jenner, 55 off 54 balls. So well done to PJ. And no other scores of note going through the scorecard there. So Mitchy Waters, 4 for 39. And gee, you did all right. You got 1 for 16 off 8 overs, so it's pretty economical.
Not too bad.
No, you did all right. And Chris Duff, 1 for 12 off 7 overs. So once again, Duffy showed why he's made a lot of rep sides over the years with his off spinners. And I guess with Hanley and Winnan not getting runs, they rely heavily on those two in particular. So when I saw Brendan and Joshy out fairly early, I went, they might struggle to make 150, and they didn't get there. And in return, across the Waves, Sean Stutchby come out and aggressive as usual on 48 off 33 balls, and Corey Pope 35 not out off 26, and a shout out to Bruce Worthington who got 3 for 36 off 9 overs. He did really well, and then the other off spinner Paul Jenner who got the runs, 2 for 17 off 4 overs. So a couple of standouts for Norths, and Waves did well there. So probably shows why Waves are on top of the table. What do you think there, Mitchy?
I know when we were playing on the field next to them, there's quite a lot of shouts and yahoos and celebrations going on early, so they had him in trouble early. And like you said, Norths rely so much on Hanley and Winnan to make a lot of the runs, and you could even throw Jaden Bond in the question too. He seems to be batting really well for Norths and for Bundy last weekend. So between those three and Chris Napper, they really need a few of the other guys to chip in as well to get a decent score. So
yeah, absolutely. And the second game, Brothers versus Magpies. Magpies, got 157 runs off their overs, and Brothers got the runs. It was a bit of a struggle, to be honest. Got there eventually with a constant flow of wickets falling, and Magpies were in a little bit of trouble, but Eric Peterson, the old bull, and young River Felstead, the young buck, 41 not out to River, so they put on a nice partnership there, and Sammy Pearson 3 for 28, and Beau Marshman made his debut for Brothers this week. Is that right?
Yeah. First game for Beau. He's been knocking down the door in twos for probably about a month now. So we gave him a go, and he followed through with 2 for 26. So
and Jaden Santa Catarina 1 for 13 off 7 overs. So he bowled pretty well.
Yeah, definitely one of our highlights this year. Jaden coming through, and it shows in the Big Bash and a lot of his Lord Taverners games he's playing. So he just keeps doing a job for whatever team he's playing for.
Yep. Well, I also noticed, Mitch, just looking from playing across the field, that he bowled with the wind, but then he also came on and bowled into the wind as well.
Yeah.
So
he's a bit of jack of all trades there, Jaden. So pretty much he's happy to take the ball with whichever end. And you got a few quicks like Big Pearso and Arden. They like to go with the wind, where Jaden, he's just happy to bowl. Yep. Whichever end. So.
And Lockie Haycock's chipped in at the end, 48 not out, and Roy Heath 2 for 38. So I think that leaves Waves and Brothers are still on top, just a bit more of a gap between third and fourth now. So well done to Brothers, and well done across the Waves, probably showing why they're 1 and 2 on the leaderboard.
Yep. All right, moving on to Division 2, we had another thriller between East and Brothers. 7 for 188. East scored, and Brothers fell run short. Another 1-run victory to a team. 8 for 187. Giles Cunningham with 85 for Brothers, probably to no avail in the end.
I think he'd be probably very disappointed knowing Giles that he got to 85 and couldn't get onto the 100 and also win the game as well. So he'd be very disappointed at that, and he's the captain of the team, so he's probably disappointed, but I think he'd take 85 before the game. So, but in saying that, Magpies, a couple of scores there. Troy Cross got 41 not out, and is it Mutilage got 47?
We'll just call him Doc.
Doc, okay, Doc, that's his nickname. Yeah. So, and I'll give a shout out to Harry Gardner. He's been referred to as the red-headed Mitchell Stark of Bundaberg, left armour. He comes around the wicket, and he's a good hockey player, and he's come back to play cricket this year. He played a little bit of juniors, didn't play last year. So, Harry Gardner came in and got a 2 for 20 off 5. So well done to Harry. And in reply, Laurie McCloskey, the old veteran, 3 for 38 off 8 overs. He would have been a bit sore on Sunday, Monday and Tuesday.
Especially getting through 8 ways.
Probably still sore now, to be honest. And Anthony Raybine, Brothers cricket president, came out and they needed 3. I think he was scoring and they must have lost a couple of quick wickets, and he had to get 3 off the last ball, and I think he's hit it to cover or mid-wicket and got dropped, and I think they got 1 run and 1 run short, so I went down there later on. He's pretty disappointed, but you've got to rely on the young fellas up the order to do well, and that was an exciting game. But in saying that, the Waves versus Norths game was pretty good as well, mate.
Yeah. Waves batted first and scored 9 for 170. Damien Black, another, I suppose we can call Black a veteran.
Stalwart.
He got 59, and Robert Rasmussen chipped in with 22, and 170 probably on par. But to keep North to 8 for 145. Pretty good effort by the Waves boys, and Kynan Hard coming back from injury there with 3 for 17 and bowled off a few steps and just got some miles back in the legs.
Bit injured, has he?
Yeah, he's had a bit of a side strain.
Okay, I know he's had a bung shoulder, so well done to Kynan, 3 for 17 off 3 overs, and the Norths bowlers, I think there were 4 Norths bowlers that all took 2 wickets each, and so well done to Waves there. That's a pretty good victory, isn't it?
Once again, the team that was 3rd and 4th knocked off the team that was 1st and 2nd. So the Division 2 comp just tightening a little bit.
Because Norths were up the top, weren't they?
Yeah. So that competition just tightening a bit at the top. So
And on the, Div 3, the Thirsty Thirds?
Under the Thirsties.
And YMCA versus ISIS. I tried my best to get ISIS over the line last week, this week, every week. I'm not going to give up yet, Reece. Do you think I should give up?
No, don't give up on
Don't give up? Rightio.
No, they need Andrew Santa Catarina back in. I spoke to him Saturday and he said, no, we got plenty of numbers. I'll just give the guys, I'll have my turn off.
He's dropped himself and gone out to watch young Jaden show him how it's done.
And he couldn't watch him bat, actually. And Jaden come out to bat when there was about a dozen runs needed. He was watching field one. He didn't want to watch Jaden bat.
Superstitious. And I guess Brett Woodward out nearly the first time this year for only 29 runs. And Paul Bramley, I think he's a sponsor, isn't he? Hinkle Podiatry.
Podiatry.
He would have needed all the foot treatments this week with 39 not out. He batted for quite a long time. And young Jarman Grigg, who's a good young cricketer, 36 not out. And as I mentioned in my wrap of the week was Paulie Wingfield, 5 wickets and got Woodward and Webster out. And Scott Willing, he's willing by name and willing by nature yet again. He's 41.
Yep.
So, 41 out of 115, he's, it was 70% last week, so he's getting nearly half the runs for those boys. But Brady Woodward, 3 for 11 with the ball, and then Lexi Webster, 4 for 6. So, they mightn't have scored the runs, but they came out and bowled and did exactly what they want to do. And the other notable admission was Andrew Santa Catarina sensationally dropped himself to go and watch Jaden. He wanted to watch the young fella do it. And
bit of inspiration, I think he's chasing there. Watching Jaden,
going out to see Jaden. And as you mentioned before, the Magpies across the waves with a day-night game.
Day-night game, started at 3 o'clock. And, Magpies were sent in to bat and scored 223.
So they got sent in.
Who's
the captain across the waves?
Nick Laffey.
Nick Laffey.
Sent them in.
Wow. Won the toss and sent them in and chasing
223.
223.
So,
he's under the spotlight, isn't he? Hey?
Yes.
Oh, I wouldn't have been happy if I was one of the batsmen. I would have said win the toss and bat, Laff. But anyway, there were four contributions there of 20. And young Liam Heads bowled well, 3 for 41. And in reply, across the waves, I think they lost Deepak very early, didn't they? He went for 1.
Missed a full toss too.
Mr. Fully.
Criminal. That's criminal if you miss
full
a full
tosses
toss.
are an underrated delivery.
They are very underrated, very underrated. Many have gotten me out before.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
And in reply, across the waves, losing Deepak pretty early, and Chris Medwin got 54, so well done to him. He's new to town this year, is
we've moved back to town.
Okay, and David Linwood got 23 not out, so they kind of stuck around a little while, but when you're chasing 223 off 30 odd overs, it's nearly mission impossible when you're 1 for zip. So well done to the Magpie Indians that love the way they play the cricket, and 4 bowlers there got 2 wickets each, and that was a good game. And good idea, the day-night stuff.
So, we've got another day-night game, Division 2 next weekend. So,
I think it was really good spectacle. Like Div 1, we finished and more than half the team came out, had a few drinks and sat down and watched the threes go at it. So I think it's really good for Bundy cricket that we're doing this. So,
and use those new lights that we've got. So most of those lights are working, but it's still pretty good under the night. So well done, Reece. That's a good idea, and we'll keep continuing that.
Yes. All right, moving on to the juniors. We had the battle down south, Harvey Bay and Maryborough. Poor old Harvey Bay just can't get a win.
Yeah, I'm kind of rooting for them as well as ISIS. So 8 for 92 versus 3 for 164. So Brooke Kington, 27 not out. So well done to Brookie. I know she's a good female cricketer, and Alex Cordy, 3 for 21. And there's a name there. I don't know whether you've come across Lockie Nishink too much. 45 runs, and
very good bat.
And in saying that, Grace Collins, 55 not out, and played a bit of cricket in Mackay with him. Stevie Collins, he's been involved with Wide Bay Cricket, and he's played a bit overseas. So go the girls. That was a highlight for me from that game.
No, girls going very well. Brothers and ATW. ATW got the win there.
No, they didn't.
No, Brothers did win.
I think so. I think Brothers won.
Brothers did win.
So across the waves got 110.
Yep.
And probably wasn't enough against the likes of Toby Lamont. I think Sammy Stutchbury yet again. He's a bit like Brett Woodward at the moment. No one can get Stutchy out. So lone hand, 53 not out. So he's got half the runs there. And Toby Lamont brought himself on late and 4 for 12 off 5, and probably went up the order and got a nice little 39 there. And Riley Gibbs, who's been playing a bit of rep cricket for Bundaberg as well, 26. And talking about the girls, Tara Staines, 3 for 35. Did she make a Queensland side of late, did you mention last week?
Yes, I believe she's just been selected in the Queensland under-19.
Under-19,
with
yeah.
Taylor
So,
Schermer and Lucy Hamilton.
yeah, so her and Lucy were kind of making a few Wide Bay boys rep teams when I was involved. So I know she's a good cricketer and they do a lot of driving each week from Mount Monte way. So well done to Tara. And there's another game there?
Yeah, YMCA ISIS scored 5 for 202, as Mitch touched on earlier. Lockie Haycock scoring 102 not out. And in return, North running about 15 short, 4 for 184, with a couple of Wide Bay representatives in Jordan Mather and Ollie Went getting 65 and 69 respectively. So probably not a bad chase, but a pretty good game of cricket with nearly 400 runs scored.
Yeah, good effort. And Jet Sim got 26 not out. I think he hung around with Lockie Haycock for a while. They got an 80 partnership. So, yeah, some good cricket going on in the 16s there.
It's good to see. A lot of those boys are starting to come through Div 1 and senior cricket now, so it's good to see them, going back to 16s and performing well still.
Yep. Under 14s, Harvey Bay had a win, 3 for 173. Kalen Barr, another name we touch on most weeks, very
Every
good
week.
cricketer, scored 46. And in return, YMCA Ice could only manage 8 for 82 with Riley Ford scoring 3 for 8. Norths in under 14s, one of the North sides. They had a reduced game, but still managed to score 132 and a 20 over game.
Yeah, I was watching that thinking, gee, our brothers should be a chance here, and only got to 79 and realised I think the covers might have been a bit short on Friday night and with a bit of rain about, and I think the bowler's run-up was a bit wet from one end, so I think the coaches had a bit of a chat and said, well, let's try and get a game of cricket on. And Norths were too good there. Zaid Kitching, 26, Corin Driver, 25 not out, and brothers were very disappointing. No score over 10, and I think North shared the wickets and no multiple wicket takers. So, the 4 wickets, so I think four of those team members got 1 wicket each. So, convincing win there.
And last game, North 5 for 154, defeated Maryborough, bowled out for 153. Jack Bigg, 42, not out for North.
Okay, retired,
Very good family name around the Bundaberg region.
Yeah, well, there's a few. I remember John Bigg, he was at West School for many, many years and was a bit of a mentor for myself. So he was a very good row and a mentor for a lot of young guys. I know Sean Stutchby was taught by Johnny Bigg at West, and he great man. And I don't know whose son that is, but that'd be John's grandson, I would imagine. So well done, Jack Bigg, 42, retired.
Yep. And for Maryborough, Mitchell Wilcox scored 54. And, Toby Brewer, 3 for 27 for Maryborough, and Big Tommy Elphinstone again, 3 for 14 for North. So good win there for North, travelling down to Maryborough. And then the under 12s, just North Avengers played North Strikers.
Yep.
North Avengers had the win there, 3 for 126 to 6 for 71.
Olivia O'Bell, 28, retired. So come on the girls this week. So, and no strikers in returns over 10 runs. So a little bit disappointing there. So had to have a North winner and a North loser. So well done to the North guys there. And well, there are another couple of games. YMCA, who have combined with East versus ISIS. 6 for 202 versus 7 for 65. That seems like a lot of runs. I went back and had a look and went, gee, someone's gone crazy there. So a couple of scores, and I know top score Tyson Mullane, 59 not out. Must have caused him a bit of grief because he hasn't been at school this week. He had his appendix out. Looking for him on Monday to say, well done for your 59 not out on the weekend, and where is he?
Down.
And I heard he's had an appendix out, so shout out to Tyson. And Atlas Felsted, 38 retired. We've mentioned River, so Atlas scored 38 retired, and Tyson backed up his 59 not out with 2 for 3 off 4 overs. So well done to Tyson. And what was the last game then, mate?
Battle of the brothers teams, the Broncos versus the Pumas. Broncos getting the win there, 5 for 147. Against the Pumas, bowled out for 90 with young Adrian Cunningham. 47, been named in the under 12 wide base.
Joel's young fella.
Joel's young fella.
Yep.
good up-and-coming young cricketer there.
Yep.
No, Giles has his own setup in the backyard with a net and a bowling machine. He gets the young fella out there, and even the young fella, I think, feeds Giles a few balls down the bowling
Which way does
machine.
it go? Does it go both ways?
We talked about Adrian, I think it was last week, and I said to Giles, did you show him the clip of the show? And he said no, didn't want his head to be too big. So he did well there. And yeah, Abby Rose Gaston, another girl, 18 not out, and Austin Wynn got 24. So a few notable mentions there in the last of the under-12 games.
So yeah, pretty good weekend of cricket all around. Some really close matches in all of those. So
Yeah.
well done to everybody, and we'll have a wrap on all the Rum City Foods competitions next week. Well, coming up after the break, we've got a special guest.
Have we?
We've got we're crossing to Brisbane. We're going to talk to Jack Sinfield, one of the up-and-coming Queensland Bulls players.
Oh, right, yeah. Yep.
So we'll catch up with Jack after the break.
There's one name across our region that's synonymous with all things hospitality, Rum City Foods. And with more than 50 staff and 4,500 square metres under one roof, Rum City Foods stocks everything. They've got the lot. Paul's Milk, frozen products, packaged foods, dairy, bakery, drinks, chemicals, and all the hospitality packaging you need. Rum City Foods are a proud member of Countrywide Australasia. Find them at rumcityfoods.com.au or at their massive new premises on Commercial Street, Bundaberg.
See Tagglemans, your family-owned caravanning experts, for the popular New Age caravan range. Walkinshaw designed and engineered for superior strength and reliability. Start your adventures today with a New Age caravan from Dale and the team at Tacklemans to Calvin Street, Bundaberg.
G'day and welcome back to the show. Now we've got a very special guest joining us on the line from Brisbane. We've got one of the up-and-coming players in the Queensland Bulls and Brisbane Heat setup. We've got Jack Sinfield. Welcome, Jack.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
So, Jack, welcome to the show. So your cricketing journey to get to where you come to today, obviously at 19, you're born in 2003. So tell us a bit about yourself to get to here.
Yeah, so I mean, I've always played cricket ever since under 10s. Born on the Gold Coast, and my dad was a cricket fanatic, so he subjected me to cricket from a very young age. Yeah, it's not the most wild story, I'd say. I've probably just kept steady through under 12s, through to 15s, 17s, and 19s, and transitioned into senior cricket. And then from that, moved up to Brisbane and played for Redlands for a couple of years before a surprise call-up to the Brisbane Heat a couple of years ago. And then from that, a couple of pathways competitions and a 19s World Cup through to the Bull squad.
So getting called up to the Brisbane Heat side at 17, were you still at school then, mate?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was in year 10, so I just finished the year at school, and it was a really shock call.
Yep, you would have been popular at school, mate. Big famous person playing for the Heat.
I got ribbed about it the next year.
Did you? Well, it's something you should be proud of, mate. So to make the Brisbane Heat squad full stop and to do it at the age of 17 and obviously you keep a level head and you've, as you mentioned, you've played in the under-19 nationals was it in April, mate?
Yeah, up in Mackay.
And did okay?
Yeah, personally, I didn't do as well as my standards. But the team result, we won, which was fantastic. Beat New South Wales, which was always good in the final. And there's some great performances amongst the team, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to mention that to you. New South Wales actually beat you in the round game and you've got revenge in the final, knocking them off. So well done on that. But as you said, it's always good to beat New South Wales, even if it is even marbles.
Yeah. Well, it was certainly, we've always had a grudge match against New South Wales, like throughout 12s, 15s, 17s, into 19s. It's always been kind of us versus them, with Western Australia a little bit to who takes out the title. So it was nice to get over them in the very last showing.
You mentioned you're playing at Sandgate, mate. Who are some of the players that we might know? There was Marnus Labuschagne there, some players that have had a bit of an influence on you while you've been at Sandgate?
Yeah, so at Redlands actually, but yeah, Marnus Labuschagne, Jimmy Pearson, Sam Haslett, James Baisley. It's been fantastic to be around those kinds of players, and there's the odd Big Bash player who's in for the heat that drops in and plays some club cricket before the competition starts. So being subjected to that from a young age certainly has helped a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some real good names there. Yeah, that was my fault. I knew it was Redlands. I wrote down
Sandgate / Redlands.
They're nearly out there.
Same
they're
postcode.
in Brisbane.
Your first full season of first grade last year, you took 32 wickets. Pretty good season. Were you happy with your first season of first grade down there?
Yeah, it's fantastic just to get some cricket in January and February into the postseason. Usually I'd have to take a break for school cricket, so it was lovely after coming back from the World Cup to get a few games after Christmas.
And you're under a bit of an injury cloud at the moment. You're saying you hope to be back next week with a bit of a stress fracture?
Yeah, so I've had a stress fracture in my right leg, so I've been out since the pre-season, so it's been a long old journey back, but hopefully I'll show out next week.
We'll have to keep an eye on the scores next week. Keep an eye on it for you, mate.
Yeah. So apart from getting back on the paddock, what's in store for the next part of the season or the next 12 months?
Just hopefully some consistent gameplay, really. It's kind of tough being injured, especially when everything's so new and novel for me at the moment. Nothing too crazy aspirationally. I'd say just consistent grade cricket performances, and then I'll jet over to England in the off-season next year to play some off-season cricket over there.
Yep. First time to England, or you had a season in England prior?
Yeah, no, first time in England. Very excited.
Yep.
Different conditions. You'll come back a better cricketer, mate, with some of the conditions and different experience, and lap it up, mate. They love the Aussies over there. If you're going over there to be a pro of the club, it's something that you'll never forget. And a lot of people in Bundaberg have been over there and they come back raving about it, and it'll be good for your cricket. And hopefully with the stress fracture, the grounds are nice and soft for you, so you'll enjoy the conditions, I'm sure. So we're hoping you do really well, and we'll keep an eye on you. We've got a fair few people that follow the show, so you've probably got a few fellow supporters now will be following you, and we'll keep an eye on you, mate. So good luck with the cricket.
Oh, thank you very much.
You touched on the Under-19 World Cup there. How was that?
Yeah, so it's a bit of the same story as my pre-season. Getting over there, I was wrapped by a bout of COVID in Guyana, which isn't the greatest place if you're aware of the country to be locked in isolation. And then ended up being that I was in isolation for 3 weeks, missing half the start of the tournament. So, that was that was pretty tough pill to swallow, having just jetted over there and having everything in front of me. But got to play a couple of games at the back end of the tournament, a couple of quarterfinals and play off a third. And, just playing in that kind of environment was fantastic.
He's had some bad luck, hasn't he? He's due for some good luck, mate. So I reckon next week I'm locking him in for 5 wickets.
All right.
No,
Sound all right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a bet?
No. Yeah.
Speaking of that, Jack, can you run us through, you got any of your best figures or most runs you've scored? Are you a bit of a batter as well?
Well, I'd like to consider myself an all-rounder. I'm not sure how my grade cricket or the Queensland Bulls would see it. But, first grade, couple of forfers. Haven't played too many full seasons, so I haven't had the chance to play a lot of two-day cricket. Hopefully, get a 5 next to my name this season. And, a couple of 40s and 50s here and there. So, just pitch in whenever I can.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, exactly. When I was doing some research today, I stumbled across a Ward Taverners game against Wide Bay with a few blokes that we know quite well, and you plundered them everywhere. I think you got 93 or 95. So I don't know if you remember that day or not, but there was young Matty Jackson, Pine and Hart in that side, and I think they went for a few.
He'd remember that, sure. You remember that, mate? 93?
Yeah, sure do. Yeah, it was a good day. Spewing I did get the 100, actually.
You might be welcome back. Are you picking on the Wide Bay boys?
Yeah.
No, they deserve it.
Yeah.
No, mate. Hey, just a quirky one to finish. We do a little segment here called 60 Seconds with Grillsy.
Can you survive the 60 seconds with Grillsy?
if there's 3 people that you could invite to dinner, dead or alive, who would they be?
Oh, gee, that's a good question. Right, I'd have to go Michael Jordan, certainly. I'd love to rack his brains, and because he's certainly someone I look up to. Nathan Lyon, I've had a bit to do with him in the past couple of years, and he's always great to have a chat to. And I'll go someone that's passed. Let's go Michael Jackson, because I love his music.
Yeah, nice.
Yep. Pretty good 3. Be probably an interesting night at dinner, I'd imagine.
Be nice.
Certainly would be, yeah.
All right, well, thanks very much for joining us, mate, and all the best getting back on the paddock and get amongst the wickets, and we'll see you on TV soon.
Right, thank you very much for having me, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks,
Bunnyberg's
Jack.
cheering you on.
All right, well, there we have it. Jack Sinfield, great young bloke, and looks like he's got a pretty bright future ahead of him, so we wish him all the best.
Speaks well for a 19-year-old, doesn't
Yeah.
he? So, and he's probably a bit humble and didn't talk himself up much to tear Wide Bay apart with 93, and there's some good cricketers there, so
Yeah.
he can bat,
Yes.
not only bowl, he can bat.
Yes.
So.
Pretty handy playing for the same club that's got some big names in it, doesn't it?
Yes.
Marnus and
Good mentors there for
Yeah.
him, so he'll only get better.
Your foot's different, so your best shoe isn't the same as someone else's. Getting the right shoe makes all the difference. It means less pain, better movement, less fatigue and less injury. At FootMotion, our experienced and caring team use the latest technology to match your unique fit and movement to the right shoe. Whether it's for work, running, school or walking, we're here for the whole family. Don't compromise. Experience FootMotion today.
Hi, I'm AJ, host of the Wide Bay ITV's music show called The Music Scene. The Music Scene's all about meeting and getting to know the local musicians in the Wide Bay area and also a few visiting artists. So why don't you join me each week for The Music Scene.
Hello and welcome back to the show. We've got a full preview of this weekend's fixtures coming up. David, we got some big games this weekend, a few top of the table clashes around the place. We'll kick off with Division 1, the old grudge match, Waves and Brothers. Obviously, we got Mitch in as well, but a few troops out with a lot of rep stuff, and I know a few teams are a bit short this weekend, so it'll test the depth. But I'll jump straight to Mitch. How are the boys looking for this weekend?
Yeah, well, like you said, you know, we're testing the brothers' barrel this weekend to see if we can wrangle up enough players for 3 teams across the 3 divisions. So, you know, full confidence. Like we've had a lot of juniors come through our team this year, and when they've been chosen in Div 1, they've stepped up as well and had a pretty consistent performance. So, you know, we lose probably 4 or 5 to Wide Bay Schaefer this weekend. So, and amongst other things, Jeremy Harksman's away and a few other boys are away for the weekend too. So we are going to be a little bit shorter this week, but full confidence in the boys, and they know what it's like to verse Waves, and they buy into the rivalry we have with Waves. So the boys are ready to go for Saturday's game.
Should be a good game, and first and second, hey?
First and second, yeah. Waves have got a few out as well. Luke Owen's
don't
obviously
make
away with
Who's missing Lukey Owen?
Lukey Owen, he's out this weekend. And, Ryan Norton returns.
Does he?
Yeah, Ryan Norton returns for Waves.
That's a good return for you guys.
Yeah. So,
well, that's a pity for brothers. Mind you, hopefully he hasn't had too many hits in the last couple of weeks.
I wouldn't imagine
they can get him out early. So, but in saying that, when Mitch is away, we usually win. So hopefully we can stick with that superstition of mine. But should be a good game. And Northern Magpies 3rd versus 4th in the other game. So Magpies are going to be desperate for a win. They haven't won for a while, have they?
Missing Josh Winnan and Brennan Hanley.
Oh, okay.
I think it could be a very close game, that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be tipping that to be probably the match of the round, to be fair. So that'll be a good game. And I know Dale Steele, who leads the Magpies after leading the tackle vans to a 1-run defeat the other night, he'll be looking for revenge, and he's got the likes of Eric Peterson and a few other good troops there. So I might even tip Magpies there, so we'll see how we go. Div 2, what have we got there, mate?
Div 2, yeah, Waves and Brothers again. I know, as we said, Def's getting tested, so I think Waves only had about 9 or 10 named last night for Division 2, and I think you guys are very similar. Toss of the coin, probably go either way.
Are you tipping Brothers?
No, I didn't say tipping Brothers.
Should be a good game, to be fair.
Yeah.
And you know what? Losing players is sometimes a bit of a blessing in disguise. You get young fellas up that don't usually play. I know we're trying to toy with who we pick, but the young fellas from any club would like to go out there and have a good game. So it should be good. And when once again, Norths and Magpies, the other Div 2 game. So that should go down to the wire. And Division 3, YMCA and ATW, who are they both on top?
Both. Well, YMCA are a game clear after last week with Waves losing and YMCA getting the win, so Waves will be out to
And Brothers are coming fourth, I think, in Div 3, so they're playing the last place ISIS. But I think ISIS could actually cause a bit of an upset. I'd never tip against Brothers, but I know...
you just did.
Yeah, well, I kind of did. I'm trying to inspire ISIS and fire up my Brothers boys, and I know Jackson Rabine, whose dad heavily involved with ISIS, and he said he wouldn't mind playing a bit of Div 3 against his dad and against ISIS. Is that what he said tonight?
Yeah, definitely. He's had me getting onto his boss at the butcher, making sure he can get off work a bit early on Saturdays.
Okay.
So he's definitely up and about to verse his old man this weekend.
Yeah, so we'll see. We won't give away too many Brothers secrets, but if Jackson Rabine's not in Div 1 or Div 2, he'll be there coming off a long run, especially if his dad's facing. So should be a good game.
Yes. So Jackson's back fit?
His knee's not great, so I think he'll probably have to take it fairly easy. He was out training tonight, but he was getting around all right.
Yeah, he seemed to be running through quite well and starting to bowl again. So, knees are a funny thing, aren't they? Like, I've had my own knee problems, so he would just be pretty cautious with it. And we got quite a good squad coming through, so wherever he fits, I'm sure he'll do a good job wherever he plays.
He's only young, so you got to keep it. You don't want a long-lasting knee injury.
Exactly
so
right.
Jackson knows his restraints, and if he wants to battle bowl, he'll get the opportunity. But we'll stop talking about Jackson. His head will swell up.
Yes. And Mitch, you guys, Wide Bay guys, are off to Ipswich for the Schaefer Shield.
Yep. So we play Saturday, Sunday this weekend in Ipswich. So. Pretty good squad this year. So it's a credit to Bundy Cricket actually. So probably 8 or 9 of the 13-man squad are from Bundy. Okay. So quite a bit of the team's from Bundy, and we're really stoked. And I'm fortunate enough to captain the team, and Trent Riddell is my vice captain. So we're looking forward to it. We verse the under 21s South Queensland side on the Saturday, and then follow up against the South East Queensland team on Sunday. So. I know the boys, they're pretty chuffed and they're ready to go for the weekend. Last time we won it was 2 years ago, so the boys really want to revisit that form and hopefully come home with the Schaefer Shield by Sunday night.
It's warming up nicely for your little visit to Ipswich.
Yes, it is. So I know all the boys were very excited when they heard it was in Ipswich, so yeah, they can't wait to get there Friday night and get stuck in on Saturday to the under 21s.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, you guys, the Bulls Masters side, actually the points from their game against Darling Downs up in Cairns earlier in the year count towards the Schaefer Shield. So Wide Bay's already got one win on the board, so really in the box seat to claim it. So
nice to see him go well.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've talked about that too, and we heard, as soon as if we can start well on Saturday, it sets us up really nicely for Sunday and hopefully bring it home. So
yeah. That South Queensland under 21 side could be a little dangerous side. There's probably a few handy cricketers in there, so it could go all right.
So I managed the under 21s Wide Bay team as well, and we unfortunately had 2 losses and we're a bit disappointing with the bat at times, but I did see some quite good cricketers out there that weekend, so I've already seen a few of them, so I'll be having my skipper's hat on the weekend and keep that in mind when we're out there versing them on Saturday.
No. All right. Well, good luck and all the best to the boys, and bring home the Schaefer Shield. I know before when they won 2 years ago, it was about a 10-year drought. Okay. So to be able to win it 2 years out of 3 would be great for Wide Bay cricket.
Good effort. Would be good effort.
So, no, go away and play well and do the Wide Bay region proud. Definitely. All right, well, that just about wraps us up for tonight. Thanks, Mitch, for coming in.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Try and get you in towards the end of the year. For brothers are in the pointy end of the season.
Yep.
Get you in around finals time. And thanks again, David.
Pleasure, mate. Thanks for having me again.
It's all right. Well, see you all next week and get out and support your team and have a good night.
Thank you.
Oh, there's the wicket. There you go.